today I'm going to be doing a Coup review, a really fun board game that came out in 2012. Been playing it for many years and it's even fun today in 2020. It's a individual elimination game where each player starts with 2 lives, which are also known as influences, and there are 5 different cards in this starter box. Let's just go over them really quick just by name. We got the Duke, Assassin, Contessa, Captain, and the Ambassador. I'm just gonna give like a personal review of what I like about the game and what I like about each of the character cards, and might as well just go over a little bit about the actions you can do on your turn. So when you play the game, you're allowed to use 1 action per turn. Before you set up the components of the game, there is a treasury in the middle. Everyone starts with 2 coins. Remember, everyone also starts with 2 cards. This game with the starter pack is between 2 to 6 players. So that's roughly about 3 of each copy per game. But if you have like the expansion or even another box to play with, you could always bump it up. The more players you have, the longer the game goes. So it really depends on how you want to use up your time when playing this game, but it is a really fun game. It takes a lot of strategy, bluffing, social deduction, in terms of having like secret cards that you guys have, and also there is some luck, but it's not a huge factor in this game. So the actions that you could take during your turn, you could do income, which means you get 1 coin. This cannot be blocked or challenged. Next is foreign aid, take 2 coins. This cannot be challenged, however it could be blocked if someone has the Duke. Another action you could take on your turn is something called Coup, where you pay 7 coins to automatically take one person's life away. The rule is if you have 10 or more coins by the beginning of your turn, you automatically have to coup someone. So just make sure you're always keeping an eye on the number of coins you have, because if you have 10, you got to use all of these to coup someone. All right, let's get into the roll cards. First up, the Duke. The Duke allows you to get 3 coins from the treasury, which is pretty good because you get to stack on income or just money really quick, especially when you start with 2. So if you first turn Duke, you get 5, and that's already close enough to get a coup. You could probably do it in the next 2 turns that you have. So what I like about the Duke is it gives you a really good advantage if you're just trying to stock up on having like more and more treasury coins. It's just a good overall way to build up and just take people out when you coup them or something. So it's always good to have a Duke on hand. Plus, the Duke is allowed to block the foreign aids, so that's also another special ability about the Duke. The only downside about the Duke is that you are more vulnerable to like assassinations and from theft with the Captain, steal move. Next, we got the Captain. This card is special because you get to steal 2 from other players. So in a way, it kind of is a little bit of a counter towards the Duke because you could slow an opponent down by stealing from someone who has a Duke. But then again, there's always 2 cards that you have, so you never know. Never know what could happen. But the Captain's just good because you could steal from players, and a Captain can block a Captain, which means that if someone tries to steal you with their Captain and you have a Captain, you deny their Captain and they will not steal from you. Next, you got the Assassin. You have to spend 3 coins back to the treasury to take someone's life. This card is the big play card because if you assassinate someone and they call you out saying that you don't have the assassin and you reveal that you have an assassin, they instantly lose because they lose 1 life from your assassination and they lose a 2nd life for failing the challenge. So assassin could be a really special card in this game, but at the same time, you are also vulnerable to theft and just other assassinations. Then we got the Contessa, the counter to assassinations. Contessa blocks the assassin, basically. It is just the legitimate counterpart. So if someone spends 3 coins to assassinate you, bam, Contessa, use it to block. If they challenge you and you show it, then they just lose a card. They lose an influence. Contessa is like a goalkeeper. And lastly, we got Ambassador. Probably one of the, if not the best card in my opinion, depending on the strategies you use. So this card allows you to draw 2 cards from the deck. So imagine this is the deck. You get to draw 2 cards in exchange. You exchange like 2 cards But if you have like one card only, you still draw 2 cards, and you just have to put 2 cards back. Regardless of what you do, just put 2 cards back. So this could apply if you have 1 or 2 cards to start with. Just pick whatever you want. You don't have to pick the same card you have. Just put them back into the deck. Having an ambassador is really good because it kind of throws people off sometimes. You could be switching over and over or keeping the same cards so they wouldn't be able to track your card. And not only that, the ambassador is good for countering the captain. So if they try to steal and you say, nope, I have the ambassador, they cannot steal from you. If they call you out and you have it, then they lose an influence and you keep your money. And especially with the ambassador, while switching cards for the deck or looking into the deck, it helps you keep track of cards. So it's a good way to just count cards. All right, so why is this game fun? I think it's fun because it takes a lot of strategy and bluffing into this game. Like, you have to, or you don't have to, but sometimes you could get away with using an ability that you don't have, and then you could have like a perfect setup to like defend yourself. Like, let's say everyone assumes that I have a Duke because I called it on my first turn, but I really have a contestant ambassador. I feel like this would be a great setup because not only am I gonna keep racking up coins, I could just keep calling ambassador to look into the deck to see what people may or may not have, and people could just be thrown off that I just keep calling Duke or ambassador. And then if someone tries to secretly assassinate me, bam, you got contested as another defense. Plus, I get to block steals. So this combo right here is A1 in my opinion. Another thing about this, I like how it takes skill. It's the fact that you are trying to wipe out your opponents. So you could just be really good at talking it out, trying to get players to turn on each other, just so you could be the last one standing, you know? It really depends. It's just a really fun game overall. Has high replay value, in my opinion. It works well if you like individual games rather than team games. Like, I tend to think about hosting tournaments, little tournaments, to see who could be the last one standing, just keep track of the winner. It's just fun in that aspect. This is just the base set, so there's like expansions and just other roles you can use. But for now, with these 5 cards, that's it. It's 2020. This game still rocks. Enjoy the game. Probably have more board games to review. This might be a very generic review, but it was pretty cool doing this. I like Coup. I hope you guys do too. Peace.